The end of October brings a steepening of the slope of our descent into winter, but it also sort of unceremoniously marks the end of severe weather season. I want to take you back and review what happened this year. Some of the numbers might surprise you. Severe weather season in western New York typically goes from late May until late August, but any weather observer around here knows there really are no hard and fast rules when it comes to thunderstorms. As long as there's warm, humid, unstable air and a little bit of extra energy in the atmosphere, storms can form, and some of them can be a little bit feisty. Here's a look month by month at what actually happened this year. It's really no surprise that May and August were our two most active months because they mark the end of one transitional season and the beginning of another, when the atmosphere tends to mix it up just a little bit more. It's also really not surprising that the numbers for June were so low. Remember how cool and rainy the first half of the month was? It's pretty tough to get thunderstorms if you don't have much sunshine. The most active day this year, by the way, was in late May. There were 17 reports of damaging winds. Add up the past 9+ months, and we're at 95 reports for the year. Almost all of them were wind damage with no tornadoes. Here's how that compares to the past 10 years. It's actually been one of our busier seasons. In fact, the only one busier over the past 10 years was in 2017. The sheer number of severe weather reports this year was the surprise, at least to me. This year was kind of a sneaky one, although if you look in the context of the national data, it's really not a surprise at all. Late April and early May were extremely active in the central part of the U.S. because we had a mix of a lot of very warm, humid air in the plains and a lot of cool, dry air moving into the Rockies. Eventually, some of the energy that triggered those numerous storms pushed its way east, and we saw an uptick in our severe weather as we went into the month of May. On a national level, close to 22,000 reports of severe weather so far this year, and we've still got plenty of time left to go. Tornado reports were up around 1,500, but the worst number here is the smallest, yet it's also the biggest it's been in the past several years: 38 tornado-related deaths. So why were things so active this year across the country and in western New York? Well, as usual when it comes to the atmosphere, there's a couple different reasons. A few weeks over the past couple of months, the atmosphere was primed for severe weather in the central U.S. and eventually in parts of the eastern U.S. as well. Again, going back to the warm, humid air in the central part of the country and the cooler air farther off to the north. But a weak El Nino may have also played a bit of a role. An El Nino pattern tends to amp up the jet stream, especially in the west, and it also allows more moisture for storms to pour into the southwestern states. There are some signs that climate change may have had a role in the active severe weather as well, only because the warmer atmosphere is able to hold a little bit more moisture. But moisture alone isn't enough to trigger severe weather. For more information on Earth's climate, head to WGRZ.com/climate. I'll see you next week with a new episode of Heather's Weatherwise, but until then, remember, it's good to be a geek.